I'm going to explain to you guys how to get health insurance in Bosnia, how I did it, and kind of how it all works with some important tips. Now, first thing you should know about learning something in Bosnia from a Bosnian like me is you be quiet when I talk. Tishina when I speak. Shh. Just kidding. That's just a little Bosnian joke. I'm sure all the Bosnian boys are going to understand this. When you're little and your dad tries to teach you something, but your dad just screaming at you and you start crying. Anyways, so what you got to do is, when you come to Bosnia to get health insurance, you can get it at a place called the Biro. You have to check in at the Biro, but you have 30 days, a 30-day window to check into the Biro from your last date of employment. Okay? So even if you worked in America, let's say you work your last day in America and then you move to Bosnia a few days later. Well, you have 30 days to check into the Biro and they'll give you health insurance that they will pay for. The country pays for it. The government pays for it. But if you don't check in like I didn't, because I didn't know, it would have been 2 months past already since my last date of employment by the time I actually checked in. And they said, you can't get the health insurance from us. So I had no health insurance. And so what you can do at this point, the next step is, so what I ended up doing was I got hired at a company here in my town. And I worked there for 2 months. Now, when they hired me, they gave me a piece of paper to take to the Biro. And I took that paper to the Biro. And the Biro now has me entered in as employed. And they enter my health insurance, the information that the company's paying for the health insurance. So I was fully covered by the company I worked at. And what you have to do is you have to buy this zdravstvena knjiga, a health insurance book, a health book. And it looks like this. And you have to buy it yourself at a knjižara, which is basically anywhere you can get school supplies. So, you take this knjigica, once you're insured, and you take it to a room for health insurance in the opština, which is next door to the Biro. It was upstairs for me. It's just a little room where there's a guy, he gives you a stamp that you're covered, you have health insurance. So when you go to the hospital, this is what you give them, this book. Now, after working at that company for 2 months, I didn't want to work there anymore. Me and the boss got into a fight. The boss was basically picking on me, blah, blah, blah. That's a different story. I was like, all right, I'm not going to take the disrespect. I'm out of here. Don't need this. And so then I went right to the Biro and I said, yep, I'm not working there anymore. Within 30 days, I went right away to the Biro. And the Biro gives you this book, the Javljana book. And now this book, okay, since I went to the Biro within 30 days of being unemployed at that Bosnian company, the Biro took the insurance. They covered me with insurance now. The government does. And the Biro says, you have to come with this book every 45 days and check in. And every 45 days or 2 months, they have a window, grace period. It doesn't have to be exact. They note it. And it says how long. So yeah, they make a note and you got to check in every 2 months, 45 days. So yeah, that's how I have health insurance to this day. But now, here's another interesting fact, is I make money on TikTok. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to keep getting health insurance. But they said making money on social media is considered freelancing work. TikTok, Instagram, whatever. And they said, since you're a freelancer, you don't have to pay for health insurance. They keep paying for it. The Biro, I just have to keep checking in. So that's how it works, which is nice. That's really nice, as a freelancer. That's what they told me. That's a fact. That's literally what they told me. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe I was going to have to pay for my own health insurance. But I guess they consider freelancing like unstable or something. I don't know why. But I'm assuming that's why, because freelancing is kind of, it's not exactly the most stable, you know what I'm saying, work. So that's how I, to this day, have health insurance through the Biro. Just got to make sure you check in. And yeah, like I said, the Biro and the opština are right next door to each other. And yeah. Oh, there is one last important thing that I just remembered. This zdravstvena knjiga, the one with the health insurance one, not the Biro one, this knjiga, to get an even better coverage, I forget the exact details on what the better coverage is. It's like, it's for hefty bills. When there's like a really big, like you have a surgery or something, you got to get a markica in this book. You got to get which I guess means a stamp. There's a special stamp you get in this that you get once a year. So you got to make sure you get that once a year. Because, yeah, I didn't know that, because you can get this, you can get health insurance, but if you don't get that markica, you could still end up paying for part of your bills. You know what I'm saying? It's not like fully covered. I think that markica kind of gets you like almost fully covered. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. So get that stamp in there. Ask about that markica. Zdravstvena knjiga. That's about it, I think. Hopefully that helps.